Tales from my D&D campaign.
Previously, the party arrives via teleport to stand before the imposing tower of the Basilica of St. Hitomi, the headquarters of the secretive Hand of Sirius. A bit of help?
What the hell did you build this thing for?
Oh, I have a civil defense artificing license. There aren't many mages in Vistria, but we have a strong history of artificing, and golems have become an important part of our national defense. Angel uses Midgard's scroll to activate the failsafe rune, and the feet and hammers grind to a halt. What do we do with this guy? Kick his ass?
Don't tempt me.
What I'm thinking is, if he designed this thing, the Hand of Sirius could use him.
Yeah, I agree.
That thing hurt.
Really? I hadn't noticed.
So they take Andrew Midgard back to the Basilica, leaving him in the hands of the top artificers in residence. Then they ride to Draven's estate, servants and guards waving, and the porter running inside with the news as soon as they were spotted, so that when they passed the gate and approached the front door, the lady of the house was out, glamorously dressed for her lord's arrival. Draven, for his part, made sure he was wearing both of the dwarven medals he had been awarded.
My lord Marquis,
My lady.
it's been so long. I have missed you.
So have I. Ivana Rowe, who usually preferred to be called the Marquess, already knew his protector, Black, but Draven introduced his newer friends, Little One and Angel, explaining that they were powerful adventurers and allies. The latter of them got something of a disapproving look, but if Ivana had any concerns, she saved them to be expressed in private. So the party spent some downtime relaxing in the estate, which seemed luxurious to them, even if most of the amenities were little more than acceptable by the standards of the noble class. After waiting so long to reunite with his wife, Draven spent most of the time in his basement alchemical lab, crafting and upgrading magical items for the party. He made himself a wand of Orb of Force to replace some weaker damage-dealing wands that were no longer doing enough for him. Little One traded Angel his +4 Constitution amulet so that he could wear the +2 spell-ablating one his mother had left him. Not really an upgrade, but about equally good and far more valuable sentimentally. Plus he got a belt of battle. Angel had Draven increase her armor's protections, and Black got his helm enchanted to grant a special extra attack when full attacking. Normally it would be a horned helm, but his version granted a headbutt. This is not to say that Draven and Ivana didn't spend any time together. He had tales to tell, emphasizing the honors he'd earned among the various dwarf lords, and he wanted to hear all about their son's exploits, while she had loads of gossip, though she did a pretty good job of filtering it down to just people Draven knew or things he might actually care about. But she also had a disturbingly long list of parties and events she wanted to drag him to. 30 in the next 2 months? It's clearly a negotiating position. You figure out pretty quick that she's trying to drag you into 3 or 4 particular ones which are important to her.
We definitely need to create some buzz and get your accomplishments out there. And I would love to show up Grey Beach. She's taken to pointing me out at parties so she can mock us. She calls you the missing Marquis.
Really? Well, screw her then. I'll definitely help put an end to that, however you want to handle it. During these weeks, they also make a trip over to the Elstina estate, capital of the Silverlode barony, to visit Ivana's parents. In a castle both fancier and more fortified than Draven's home, they hold a great banquet in their dining hall, and whoa! Yeah, Baron Silverlode's dining table is a wooden frame and support structure built around a 12-foot-long, 18-inch wide greatsword. In case that wasn't epic enough, this sword belonged to a frost giant chieftain who was slain by one of the 3 brothers, Vistria himself, first king of this nation, when the chieftain refused to negotiate. In fact, this is the eponymous sword for which the county is named. The fact that it belongs now to a vassal, rather than to the Count of Sword, is something of a long-standing embarrassment.
Yeah, but why do I have to sit down here right at the point?
I remember being forced to sit down there when I was courting Ivana. You would not believe how intimidating it is.
Yes, I would. I thought you had an arranged marriage.
Certainly, but they don't finalize it until they get to know you. More for the parents than the betrothed.
Wait, is this sword magical?
Yes, it's a +3 weapon, but it's also sized for a huge creature. It weighs 1,300 pounds.
Yeah, but you could disenchant it for crafting.
He can't extract the magic without destroying the item, and it's a prestigious historical artifact, which belongs to my in-laws. It's not an option. Anyway, the next day they travel back to Draven's home and lab, but soon after they get back, a messenger arrives at the house. High Priest Matsomi requires your presence at the Basilica. Oh, I also have this package for you. From the hand? Well, no. Then why do you have it?
It's a little strange, but a fair maiden gave it to me, for the Marquis. She said he was expecting it. You just take things from random women on the side of the road?
I don't know. It made sense at the time.
It's got to be a trap.
It's a trap.
You mean other than his wife finding out he's getting gifts from random fair maidens?
They held the messenger until they could determine if the package was trapped, but Angel couldn't find anything you would normally call a trap on a small package, including the types of magical traps she could deal with, so Draven opened it. Inside was a fine crystal in the form of a lotus flower. Given the as promised tag, and the fact that it was a crystal, like many psionic things, they clued in that it might be from the Rajas, who had made a bargain to extend the White Seed's protection against the astral plague by at least 6 months. And sure enough, when Draven pulled out the glass tube in which he now stores the White Seed, the Lotus's power flowed out into the seed, strengthening it significantly. If the crystal's still there, it might make a good present for your wife. Is it safe? It no longer detects as magical. You really should give her something after being gone 6 months. So they released the messenger, warning him to be more careful, though in retrospect, it sounds as though he may have been magically charmed to accept the package. The next day, the party heads back to New Vanover. Ivana understands that Draven is important, and when the hand calls he has to go, but she warns him,
"You'd better be back in time for the Duke's spring ball, in a week and a half."
As they head down the road, not too far from the house, they spot a woman off to the side. This is less suspicious than confusing. Presumably an out-of-place beautiful woman may be the one who charmed the messenger, but if so, she had actually helped them by ensuring they got the package. So what was she up to now? Then Angel's keen eyes note that the woman is concealing a furry tail.
Hail, travelers! It feels like you received the package from the Rajas.
Yes?
My bargain with them required that I deliver it to you without talking to you. Almost like they don't trust me. But once you received the box, the bargain ended, and now I greet you on my own time.
And you wonder why they don't trust you?
I don't wonder at all. I am a fox.
And she flicks her tail, or rather, tails, at least 3 of them poking out from beneath her dress.
I came to warn you. Do not trust the Rakshasas. They keep their word to the letter, often even to the spirit. But they seek to bend everyone and everything to do their bidding.
Which is?
I have no idea. But they, who are neither fae nor spirits, abuse the power of fae bargains.
And why should we trust you?
I'll say this. You can trust a fox to push back against anyone who schemes to control others.
Fox spirits are known to be tricksters.
I've said what I came to say. Do with it what you will, but... Oh, I almost forgot. When you go to the Feywild, please give this to the tall one.
And she tosses them a pebble.
What tall one?
You'll know when you see him.
But we aren't going to the Feywild.
Of course not. Farewell.
And the fox woman bounded away, disappearing into the underbrush. You'll know when you see him? Why is everything so confusing? Oh, good. I thought it was just me.
We already figured all that about the Rajas, except the Fey bargain part.
Yeah, what did she mean by that?
Damned if I know.
But before long, they're standing in front of High Priest Matsomi in the Basilica. We have lost contact with the village of Goodplace in Midgard.
Really? Goodplace? They are so screwed.
Baron Woodbridge, the local lord, says the town is quarantined due to some disease or plague.
What is he doing here? His father is Count Midgard, Baron Woodbridge's liege lord.
My own barony, Cobbletown, lies just beyond Woodbridge. When we offered aid, he refused, saying his priests can handle it.
He has no priests, at least none that we can verify. His claim was questionable even at the outset, as it takes a priest of significant skill and devotion to remove diseases. But it appears that Woodbridge has transferred, fired, or outright expelled all priests from his domain. We sent a messenger to the Baron to make sure this wasn't some misunderstanding. At the same time, we sent an agent to investigate Goodplace. Neither of them have returned. How long has it been? 3 days now.
It is only a few hours' ride.
Something is also interfering with our divinations. With a possibility of dark magic involved, we feel you can investigate with less chance of casualties than the larger, more conventional force we are in the process of assembling. Should you encounter a threat you cannot handle, we trust you can escape and provide us the intelligence we need. Thus they ride back through Silverlode, crossing the county line into Woodbridge in Midgard. There are no obvious signs of life as they pass a few small hamlets, but they see nothing unusual either. A few miles further along, when they pass the first major crossing, they find signs that large numbers of people had come this way via the western road, towards the town of Goodplace. Population 600. None of them has the track feet, so they can't get a good estimate of the number of people, but it's clear there were dozens, if not hundreds, and some number of horses moving chiefly along the sides of the group. When they reach the town, it is late afternoon, but no one is about. Draven casts Fly on himself, expecting trouble, but exploring a few of the shops of the main street and a number of houses, they still find no signs of life, not one person living or dead. But it looks bad. Many of the doors and windows had been hastily boarded up, only to be smashed through from the outside, and the bloodstains indicate that a major disaster had befallen Goodplace. Scouting ahead as usual, Angel finally finds one house full of corpses, including a man who Black identifies as one of Jonason's agents. These people clearly died violently by many claws. On the agent, they find a note he never got a chance to send, detailing how Baron Woodbridge's soldiers had begun rounding up every person in his province and marching them to this area. Entire towns to the north and west stand vacant for some unknown purpose.
But there's nobody here. There are at least a dozen. Maybe if we keep searching, we'll find more houses like this.
If the note is accurate, there are multiple thousands of people missing. I don't think there are enough houses. That's when Angel caught some distant motion out of the corner of her eye.
Corpsplosion!
Uh-oh. The dead bodies explode into negative energy, dealing the same amount of damage as a standard fireball, but with a more difficult saving throw. Angel started chasing, as evasion had put her in the best position to pursue the figure she had spotted, who had ducked into another building as soon as he finished casting the spell. But the sun was starting to go down, and as the others dig themselves out of the rubble, zombies. I'll buff our armor class, then fly up. Black and Little One start smashing and slicing through the zombies. The minions die as easily as you'd expect, and a zombie has no realistic chance of hitting Little One with Draven's buff, let alone penetrating Black's armor. But to compensate, I gave them a special swarm-like attack. If you already have 2 zombies threatening you, each additional one that moves into range does an automatic 1d6 damage. No attack roll required.
They're still crap. Not even worth using maneuvers. I hit one for 10 damage and another for 13.
The first one is cut in half, but the second takes 13 and doesn't even notice. Then it hits you back for 20. So they aren't all minions. Of course. Doesn't matter. I'm a priest of Sirius. We are trained to destroy undead. You're going to turn them? Well, not actually. I spent all my turning attempts on divine metamagic. As it should be.
Guys, the caster escaped down a hidden tunnel, and it's full of zombies. Is it like a dungeon? Doesn't look like it. Just an escape tunnel. Level with the ground. You should just get back here and group up then. Why? With combat reflexes, every time one moves towards me it dies.
Not if it's the tough ones. They have over 100 hit points, and they hit hard. It didn't matter against the minions, but Black's bludgeoning attacks are less effective against zombie damage reduction, so he and Angel go on crowd control duty, while Little One and Draven start taking down the tougher, negative energy-infused zombies, with bone crushers and heavily buffed crossbow bolts. That's when a translucent blob full of skulls glides out of an alleyway and shoots 2 stretchy tendrils of goo up at Draven. Gah! What the hell? They are touch attacks. Crappy to hit bonus, though. Only 1 hits, but you take 7, and it drags you down 20 feet closer to the ground and, to the blob. Can I just fly higher? Nope, you are tethered to it. You can fly closer if you want. Pass. And then 2 hooded figures come down the street. Full strength. Fine. And the second guy moves in to attack. Next time on Tales from My D&D Campaign. We have lost contact with the village of Goodplace in Midgard.
Really? Goodplace? They are so screwed.